Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Pearl Lemon podcast today. I am sitting here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brandon. How you doing today?
I am doing well. Thank you for
And,
having me on.
and where in the world are you doing well sitting in right now? What state, what country are you?
I am in Los Angeles,
In
California,
in the
in
US of A.
Venice. So close to the beach, like getting
Yeah,
down to
that's
the beach and
nice.
getting away, get that work-life balance and go down to the beach or try to do it as often as possible because I am luckily not that far away.
That's awesome. Man, you totally sound like a Californian right now. Heading to the beach, living in Venice. So SEO optimizers, would you be able to give like our listeners, what is your 1 minute, 2 minute kind of overview as to who you are and what you do?
Well, we help, it says it in the name, SEO. We help you get more traffic to your website using search engine optimization, but not just trying to get you more traffic, but making sure that traffic then converts into sales and leads and phone calls or whatever that conversion goal is for your website. So just try to tap into that free traffic that Google offers and help you just really get more exposure and more visibility on search engines.
Fantastic. And I'm super excited to talk a little bit more about the practitioner kind of in-depth skills and techniques and future that's coming into this world of SEO. So maybe we can start there, Brandon. Thinking about the buzzword at the moment, AI, right? And when we think about all these AI tools and the sophistication, I guess, around the tools, what are you starting to see or what do you foresee the impact starting to happen specific to the SEO world?
We'll have to see because it keeps changing so quickly
Yeah.
what's going to happen. But right now, they're releasing SearchGPT, which is ChatGPT's search engine, kind of competitor to Google. We'll have to see how it ranks websites because if it's just reading text, that's not really going to be accurate because the way Google works is they don't just look at your content, they want you to build trust up because Google knows anybody could build a website and put keywords on it. And I could build a website and say brandonsdentist.com. And Google's like, are you really a dentist? Because we don't want to just send people to your dental office and find out that you're not there, you don't exist, that you've gone out of business. So we want you to build trust up. And the way you build trust is by getting other websites to talk about you. So if I'm a dentist, I should be on like WebMD or Google Maps and Apple Maps and Bing Maps and MapQuest, Yellow Pages, all these other websites. The more websites I'm on, the more popular, the more trust Google sees me or gives to me, and the higher they're gonna rank me. And I feel like that's how AI or Search GPT or any search engine kind of has to look at third-party signals from backlinks or social signals or
Interesting.
things like that. Because if they just rely only on the text, it's not going to be accurate. And AI already does those AI hallucinations where it makes things up if it doesn't know the answer. And you don't want that to happen when you're searching. You want to make sure that you're getting accurate information. So we'll have to see how it all works. But the more people that use it, the more accurate it's going to get and the better it's going to become. But we still have to see how it's going to work in terms of like transactional, if you can buy stuff for like shopping, because I know it's more like Q&A type of just questions and getting answers back, but not really doing too much with transactional. But I feel like they will incorporate e-commerce soon in there and kind of become like a little Google or essentially replicating Google.
That's well articulated, and you actually brought up, if I could back up just for a second, because I've not heard it stated the way you stated it, which is pretend that I was building brandonsdentistry.com. Couldn't I go and just register Brandon's Dentistry on all of those different affiliate kind of the Bing Maps, the Google Maps, the Yelps, etc.? Couldn't I just build accounts, and wouldn't that be kind of trusting or allowing Google to trust me anyway? Or is that just too much of an orchestration?
No, so that's a Google, a normal website should have all those. But if you want to rank for being a dentist, then you need to be on health related websites. And that's where like a WebMD or anything that's related to what you're doing. But yeah, being on like YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter,
Right.
Facebook, those are all normal websites that any normal business should be in. But then whatever niche you're in, you need to be on similar sites. So if you're a mechanic, you need to be on websites related to cars, automobiles. It
Right.
doesn't have to be exactly what you're doing, just anything somewhat related to what you're doing. That's really what Google wants to see. The more related, the better. So with the dentist, if you can get on other dentist websites by reaching out to other dentists in other states where you're not direct competitors, then you could try to do that. Like I'm an SEO company. I can't really reach out to other SEO companies. They're
Right.
not going to really want to help me out, but I can reach out to marketing websites, business websites, websites about entrepreneurship, or even about like TV, radio, traditional marketing. It doesn't matter as long as it's somewhat related to what I'm doing.
Interesting. No, and thank you for that clarity. So, um, in your kind of quick look now at AI and how it is impacting this digital marketing world, what do you see some of the benefits as? Like, how do you use ChatGPT? How are you using things right now to either make things more efficient or work for your business?
Well, I've tried using it to help out with some of the SEO stuff like keyword research
Mm,
and coding changes like that, but it doesn't really give you the best results. So it's not right there or quite there yet, but it's okay. Sometimes what it gives out, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But with SEO, a lot of what I do is content
mm,
creation, content, meaning text. And I
yes.
have to have a lot of writers on staff. And most of my writers, or not all of them, but the majority of them were starting to use AI and charging me full price for content. And I
Wow.
realized I have to unfortunately let go of all of them, or not all of them, but I have a few that really pride themselves. I have like an English teacher that really doesn't is against AI, and I have a couple other ones, and I'm trying to find more. There are still a lot of good writers out there, just tough because it's so easy with AI and Google
Yeah.
says we don't care who writes the content anymore because we can't tell the difference. But it has to just be accurate. So that's where you just can't tell ChatGPT, write me an article about 7 ways to whiten your teeth if you're a dentist. You
Yeah.
gotta maybe have it write an outline for you and then you could go
Get in
and
there
fill
and
it
do
all
it.
in. But if you're just having it do all the work for you, it's not quite there yet. And it'll do those AI hallucinations and it might give you incorrect information. You put that on your website, it looks
Boom.
bad, it reflects badly on you and your business. And also Google sees that and would drop you down in rankings.
Interesting. Yeah, and I'm not sure if you remember back in school when we were writing. I mean, I've got a daughter and she right now gets checked every essay that gets put in because all of these kids right now are trying to find the efficient way, right? To your point, get the work in and charge the same amount. Speaking of which, I had a situation that I want to throw at you. A situation happened to me this morning where we had a prospect come to us and talk to us about the world of black hat SEO, right? And knowing that you're in the content world and all, how do you convince your clients to prioritize that long term? You know, write properly, don't cheat with ChatGPT. Um, here's a proper strategy for SEO. Don't use the black hat kind of. They don't say it's illegal. They say it's unethical, right? Um, how are you navigating that competitive landscape where people are wanting immediate results and could go down that route, but you're offering this service which is long lasting?
Well, if they want immediate results, I would say run Google Ads, much safer. Might be a little bit more expensive, but that's going to get you immediate traction. SEO is the long-term play. It takes about, unfortunately, 6 months, give or take. Could take longer depending on the competition, or if there's
Yes.
less competition, it could be faster. I've
Mm,
had some clients where I was able to rank them within a few months, or within actually 1 month, but they had
wow.
a website that was 20 years old, had a lot of backlinks. It was just tough for Google to read it, but it all comes down to just knowing that if you want to do things or be a long-term business, you got to do things the proper way. And if you're taking those shortcuts and cheating, it will work in the short run, but eventually things catch up. And Google is pretty smart and sophisticated at finding this. Or if your competition sees something, they could tell Google, and then
Mm,
Google's going to manually look and see that. So just got to be careful and wary and never do anything that seems a little too good to be true on your own website. If you want to buy a .com or .info website and play around
hmm.
with it and test, you can, but just be aware that it's probably going to be short-lived and you might rank for a month or a couple weeks or a couple days, but in the long run, it's just going to hit this penalization from Google, and getting out of the penalty from Google is very, very tough, if not
Difficult,
impossible.
right?
Yeah,
Wow.
it takes a long time.
Uh, is there anything in the future but Google? Will
Well, we'll
Google
just see.
always be? I mean, I know that we could both say, let's just see, because we're in that world. I'm always curious to ask other practitioners as well as to what they think. Let's pivot real quick. How long have you been running SEO optimizers, Brandon?
Since 2007, so right.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Right when I graduated from college, got my degree in business marketing, and the first job I got out of school was helping a company out with sort of digital marketing, SEO, and I didn't really know much about it. And they said, don't worry, we're new to this and we're going to go take you to classes and seminars. And went to a few seminars, and everyone was talking about back in 2007 how they have like 10 different websites and they do affiliate marketing, drop shipping, and all this stuff. And it got me thinking that I could work full time at this company. And they had a really specific product with maybe like 3 competitors in the whole world. So I was able to realize I could go to like a local restaurant or just any local business and pick up freelance clients here or there. So started off working full time and then just doing a little side hustle. And the company was fine with it because I was just doing more SEO before work, after work, on lunch break. So it was just helping me learn more and
Yeah.
them get higher rankings as well.
Giddy up. And since the start now to today, do you have like a capture of approximately how many folks you've worked with over that long period of time? Like 500, like 5,000 clients, like 10,000 clients?
It's probably been definitely thousands.
That's great. That's great.
Over the
And so
years,
that's where I'm leading with my next question. So you've worked with over 1,000 clients, right? And there's probably been a tremendous shift in education from the people you first started to work with to today. When you cut today's in half, when you cut the people that are coming to you for potential work off the street, if you say the most uneducated person who knows nothing about SEO versus the person that thinks that they're fairly intelligent about SEO, staying with the uneducated right now, what are some of the mindsets that they're coming forward with? Are they just like, hey, take it, deal with it, I don't care to, or I want to learn about it? Like how that prospect that's coming at you, what are some of the uneducated things that you're starting to hear in the marketplace?
they just don't really know what goes into SEO, and they think you just throw keywords on the website and you'll start ranking, but they don't realize those backlinks are so vital, and you have to pretty much consistently be building backlinks. You can't just build a bunch of backlinks and then stop. To Google. A normal website would always be getting some backlinks, and that's where you just got to let them know. And I mean, still to this day, most people don't really understand backlinks, or they know about backlinks and they think that they just go on like Fiverr or something like that and buy 1,000 backlinks for $5, but they don't realize it's all about the quality, not quantity of backlinks. Yes. And that's where you got to be really, really careful and not just go for a lot of backlinks. That's how it used to be back in the early 2000s. Now it's a number of quality backlinks. And that's where I was saying like earlier, you got to be on sites that are related to what you're doing. That's number one. That's backlinks. You got to be related.
Curious. And then you move to the educated person. What are some of the maybe difficult or out of left field asks that you're receiving nowadays from people that want the SEO, that think they know a lot about it?
Maybe trying to get on bigger publications for backlinks. So trying to get on like a Forbes or New York Times or Entrepreneur, because they understand backlinks and they understand that relevancy is really important, being niche related, but also authority. Like if I gave you a backlink from my website, it's a good website, but it's not the same as a Wikipedia or Huffington Post or any of these big publications. And sometimes they want to get on these bigger ones, which is doable. Sometimes it just takes a lot of time and effort and is very, very difficult, but those are feasible. It just takes a lot of effort.
Thank you for sharing that. That's curious. If I could pivot for just a second back in towards the algorithm side of things, and I know that Google's constantly changing and it's a monster and nobody ever knows exactly how it works. Otherwise we'd all be gazillionaires, right? But with their changing of algorithms, and now you've got this other world of social media, that's dropping in. How are you balancing that? How are your clients balancing that? Is it more important to focus on the SEO, or should I also focus on my social because that adds to the SEO? Like, how's that recipe tying together for you?
It really depends on your business and trying to figure out like who is your audience. I always tell people, try to think like, take a step back. If you were looking for your product or service or whatever your website's about, where would you go? And if social is where you're going to be going, then yeah, let's definitely push social and then try to figure out which platforms, because you don't want to be on, you want to have a presence on every platform, but in terms of being active all the time, you really need to figure out where exactly your audience is. That's really number one. And like for myself, I do SEO. I have a presence on social and YouTube, I feel like is and LinkedIn are my better ones, but I'm on Instagram and TikTok and all these other ones, but they're for more for social proof. I feel like people come to my
Yeah.
web, will search on Google looking for an SEO company, or they'll go on Yelp, search there, find me, and then check my social proof. But if you're selling or if you have a new product that no one's ever searched for, like if you invent something, it's not really going to work for Google because
Right.
people are searching for keywords. And if they don't know about your product or your service, then you got to build that awareness and drive that awareness through social, which works really, really well. So social works for like sports and news and
Yes.
entertainment and
Yes.
things like that work really, really well. In other terms, or like service-based businesses, it's hit or miss, like a plumber. How many people,
Yeah.
sometimes it might
How
work.
many
You can
times
go,
can I, yeah, unclog the pipe, right? Or maybe I can. It's engaging content, maybe. You
mm,
said YouTube and LinkedIn are working for you. Let's just dig into that for a second. Which one works better, and why do you think it works better for you?
I feel like YouTube is the best, but
Mm,
puts a face behind the company. People don't buy off SEO optimizers; they buy off Brandon Leibowitz. So, and that's what I've realized over the years is I gotta put like brand myself more than my company. My company is still
uh,
there; it needs to be there, but being on YouTube puts a face behind the company. It
yes.
builds that trust and credibility. And I also teach classes,
Mm,
and so I've taught classes, and I was just like, all right, let me just put those classes up on YouTube. So it was just easy for me to do, especially when everything shut down a few years ago.
hmm.
I couldn't teach my classes in person. I did them online and through Zoom. It would record them, and I realized, all right, I could take the audio and video and kind of throw them up on as a podcast-ish type of
Yeah.
thing, even though it's
Hey, that's what we're doing right here.
yep. And that got me going, doing my own podcast. And then I realized for to rank higher on Google, I need to build backlinks. And a great way to
Mm,
build backlinks is being a guest on other people's podcasts because now I get backlinks from your website
yes.
and it's going to help me rank higher on Google. And
That's
also,
great.
podcasts are great for exposure, visibility. It's like YouTube as well, kind of putting a face behind the company or
Hmm.
hearing that person speak if it's on audio platforms. But it just helps you just get out there, which a lot of business owners don't want to do, and it's tough for them to do that. But
Yes.
if you can just step out of it, and a lot of people are like, I don't want to show you my secrets, but you could like if you're a plumber, you could show them how to fix a toilet, and they might be like, all right, this is beyond more than I thought it would take, and it's beyond my capabilities. Let me just
Right.
hire a plumber. So it does work too well. It kind of works pretty well for most businesses. I feel like if you're just able to get on camera.
Yes, and if you're comfortable doing it, right? So thank you. That's very helpful. And just so you know, Brandon, because we didn't speak about this offline, you're actually the first SEO slash marketing expert that we brought onto this podcast because that's what we do as well, right? But it's always interesting to hear a different perspective and point of view. And yes, you're across the country. You know, we're sometimes over in Europe, sometimes down in the different continents, but we're all in the same game together. So it's always good. Speaking of which, my final question, then we'll begin to turn around to the speed round here, is you said that you're a teacher, that you're an educator of others. Who educates you, or where are you going right now? What wells are you pulling from your natural or for wisdom in our world of SEO and digital marketing?
Yeah, I tried to go on YouTube and search, see what other people are putting out, what type of content, if anyone has strategies, but just reading up on different blogs. But
Do you have any
feel
favorites?
I feel like the Facebook forums or groups are actually a little bit better now. So I used to be reading a lot of blogs and joining a lot of forums, but I feel like those kind of lost the traction that they used to have. I mean,
Is that
Search Engine
right?
Journal, Search Engine News, SearchEngineWatch.com are all pretty good blogs, but I would say if you could just find a Facebook group because they're more active and people respond back, but you gotta take action. If you're just reading and just watching and learning, it's great, but you gotta try stuff out. So the real way to learn is by buying a .info domain for like
Hmm,
$2 a year and testing and saying, all right, if I put
I love
keywords
that.
at the title tag, what does this do? If I put the keyword at the beginning of the title tag versus at the end, let me buy two
Hmm,
websites and let me test them out because you never know until you try and see what really works. And then you could kind of scale from there and implement what works on your main website. But don't test on your website because,
Yes, you've
or
said it a
anything that
couple of
seems
times.
sketchy. Yeah, I mean, you can
Have
test
you
keywords.
seen someone get hurt doing that recently?
Not recently, but in the past, I've had, well, some people have come
That's
to me saying like all my traffic's dropped off and I've lost like 75% of my traffic and
oh
just
my
trying to figure out what
goodness.
happened. And it's like a blog that has thousands of pages, tens of thousands of pages. They have so much content and
Oh
trying to
my
figure
gosh.
which one is, what's the issue is really a mess. And sometimes I'm like, all right, we can do it, but this is going to take a lot of time and it's going to be really, really tough to dig your way out. That it's
Mm,
best just avoid that at all costs so you don't have to worry about this stuff.
wow. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to share for our listeners before we enter our speed round and then we close out this episode?
I
Any
would
other
say
wisdom drops?
be patient with SEO. It's not immediate. So don't get discouraged if you're not seeing that immediate traction. It does take time. It's a long-term strategy where you're going to have to build trust and keep working it to slowly get that growth. So just don't get discouraged if you're not seeing that immediate traction.
Awesome. Awesome. Great piece of wisdom there. By the way, future pacing, where do you want to see SEO optimizers in like the next 3 to 5 years? Should everything go your way?
Just grow in it and keep building it up. I'm releasing a book in the next month or so, hopefully.
Are
Just
you?
finished writing it, so trying to just get it out there. And that one is about
Awesome. Would you mind sharing
how
what the title is, or do you know what the title is yet? Or
it's the power of podcasting and how to be a guest on other people's podcasts. Because in the past couple of years, I've probably been on 200 podcasts as a
what?
guest to build
Sick.
backlinks. So, and I do that for my clients now too, is I try to get them booked on if they're open to it, get them
Yes.
booked on other people's podcasts
Yes.
to help build backlinks because the more backlinks we build together, the faster they get that growth. So I tell them like, hey, if you want to speed things up, if you help me build backlinks, because I'll build backlinks for you, but there's only so many I could build per month.
Sure.
And if you could just help in conjunction with what I'm doing, it's going to speed things up. And that is what the book is about. Well, and how being a guest on podcasts makes you a subject matter expert and all the other benefits of being a
Yes.
guest. But I try to talk more about it from like an SEO point of view, which a lot of people don't realize. And even as a guest, I mean, as a host, you have an opportunity to build a lot of backlinks because if you take your podcast episodes and post them on your own blog,
Hmm.
and share that with your guests, the guests are then going to share that instead of giving me like after this episode, you might give me a link saying, here's a YouTube, here's Spotify. And then I'm just going to promote Spotify and YouTube on my social media and I might blog about them and give them backlinks. But if you post it on your own website, I'm going to share that on my social
Boom.
medias and
Hmm.
even potentially blog about it on my own blog and give you a backlink and help you rank higher.
I love it. I had no idea. I'm like, that's cool. So you've gone from now talking about podcasts and I love it. I love it. The Backlink podcast. What was the name of the podcast? Sorry, what was the name of the book again, Brandon?
The power of podcasting.
The Power of Podcasting. All right. So listeners, listen out for that. So we're about to enter our speed round of 3 questions. Brandon, question number 1. Favorite guru as you got into this world that you watched and watched and watched hours and hours of content from was who?
I'd
Do you
say
have a
that
guru?
in 2007, a
Yeah.
big one was Rand Fishkin,
Okay.
and he was the founder of Moz, which is, or SEO Moz, it used to be called, and now it's Moz, where it's a tool to find backlinks. So backlinks are so very important. You can see the overlaying art here is backlink, backlink, backlinks, but he created a tool that'll let you look at any website's backlinks. So I could see your backlinks, you could see my
Wow.
backlinks. So if you're my competitor, I would look at your backlinks and try to build more backlinks than my competitors have from quality sites. But
Absolutely.
he's kind of stepped away from the SEO world, but he was pretty big back in
All
2007
right.
to like 2012, 13, maybe.
Second question. Thank you. Second question. Pickleball or tennis?
I would say I haven't played pickleball. I see it all the time in Venice. It's huge down here, but my girlfriend loves tennis and played tennis with her a few weeks ago for the first time in years. And so I have to say tennis, but I haven't tried pickleball yet. So might be a little
That,
biased.
that's a good thing. Hey. There's no judgment here. And final question for you. Since you're in Venice, when I go down to Venice Beach, where should I stop for like an ice cream or for a sweet treat?
If you want ice cream, there is one that's called Salt and Straw. They make interesting ice cream combinations where they'll
Okay.
mix weird flavors like lavender and stuff like that into the ice cream, and it is really, really good. I
And
would check that
unique.
out. Next time you're over there, let me know. I'll meet you down there.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you again so much for your time today. I know you're a busy guy, but I appreciate you dropping all your wisdom with this, and I will put all of your information as well as your books. Hopefully, by the time we publish this in the podcast notes, and to our listeners, we'll see you next time here on the Pearl Lemon podcast. This is Chicka out.